What's up, first viewer? Hold on, I'm gonna drop a link to this in Facebook, which is really the only social media platform I use anymore. And even that, I really shouldn't be using. I'm slowly but steadily getting rid of all my social media. Like I said, slowly but steadily getting rid of all my social media. And I'm not just deleting or disabling the account. I'm going through and unliking every like, untagging every tag. Hi, Winston's mom. I just did a quick live stream explaining my video typing service because, well, people have complained that it's not well explained beforehand. So I did that, and now I'm over here just opening up. There was, I think, 9 people when I ended that watching, and I wanted to stay on topic there, but now I can go off topic as much as I want. But I was just saying that I've been deleting my social media accounts. And when I say delete, I don't mean disable the account. I mean unliking everything, unsubscribing, deleting all the friends, just undoing every single thing that I've done. Because everything that you do in all the social media platforms builds into an AI algorithm of who you are. And if you just deactivate your Instagram, well, it's already got that whole database built up about you. You can't delete an Instagram. You have to temporarily disable it, but it's never permanently deleted. So I've just deleted 2 in the last couple days, 2 Instagram accounts. And I've gone through and deleted every picture. I've unliked everything I've liked, just go through and undo everything because I really want to reduce the amount of AI accessible information, which is kind of an uphill battle, but still somebody's got to do it somewhere. Oh, and look what I got today. I got a tote. So that came from the Drug Policy Alliance, I guess, for being a sponsor for 2 years. I don't mention it a lot, but I do think I mention it in the little description of every video that a portion of proceeds to Flow State goes to the Drug Policy Alliance, which is basically it's an impact reduction approach to the war on drugs. So instead of throwing people in prison, which doesn't generally improve anybody's life, they would say fund rehabs, which does improve people's lives. So if you've ever been a patron or bought a typing service or anything from me, not much money goes there, but some money has gone to the Drug Policy Alliance. What's going on? And to be completely honest, I'm worse than that. I cover up my cameras and shit when I am not using them. Electrical tape is really good on your selfie cam because it's gentle. How's that? I want to know how to permanently delete one. Well, I meant it in the other way, but I do what I can. The other thing that I've been working on, well, besides my normal preps and shit, my preps, my day tradings, but one of the more fun things that when I get a pump, like just a little water pump, I'll make a little video of it and put it up so y'all can see how it works. But an atmospheric water generator, which is basically like a dehumidifier, but the atmospheric water generators cost like $800 fucking dollars, which is absurd. And even a decent dehumidifier costs $300. So I got everything to build one for probably $50, except for the pump. I just need to get the pump. Duct tape's a little bit rough. You can screw up your camera that way. But I've got a Note 9, and the way that these Otter boxes are made, there's no hangover to get. Like on the back, I just threw a piece of cardboard up under there. There's nothing on the front with an Otter box. So I used electrical tape. It comes off, it goes on. It doesn't rip my camera off when I remove it. I looked up your silver coin to filter water idea. You would need more than one coin, and it would need to be an older coin with more silver than metal. Why would it need to be an older coin? Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm slowly backing out of the footprint I've built over, a decade and a half, 2 decades in social media. So I really don't use any of them anymore, except for Facebook. That'll be the last one I back out of. No, I don't, and here's why. Because I've got a shitload of lighters. Lighters are so cheap and handy that I just don't see. I mean, I just don't see me being in a place where I'm able to make fire with a flint, but not with a lighter. I've got 2 within reaching distance of me. I'm sure I've got another 2 behind the computer monitor. I can see one over there. That's a butane lighter. I do have packaged unopened lighters, like in my preps. So I guess what I've been buying regardless, because I think that because I know that the investment world right now is a fucking nightmare and it's going to catch a lot of people with their pants down, is I've been buying silver coins. So I've got quite a few 0.999% pure silver coins. And rounds, I guess. Or a round is the same thing as a coin. It's just not from a mint. Which actually, and if anybody's like kind of on the fence about what to do with like their savings account that they haven't touched, I suggest buying silver, physical silver, while you can. If you go to the US Mint website right now, you know what? I'll just show you. Here we are at, wait a second, that's mint.com. That's not correct. That is not the actual Mint website. usmint.gov. You go here to the best sellers. Let's look at silver. Shit, they're all out of stock anyways. Nope. Silver dollars. So check this out. 2021 1 ounce eagle, $73. 2020 1 ounce eagle, $73, sold out. 2020 uncirculated 1 ounce eagle, 67, 73. They're all 73 basically. I don't know why that one's 67 or was. It's probably got a slightly different marking or some shit. But basically, they're $73 and they're sold out. The spot price of silver is $27.59. So, and if you go to, say, a bullion site and look at their silver coin offerings, they've got, there's a random year silver eagle for $39.89 instead of 73. Here's a 2020 for $42.89. I mean, that's the low price if you get quantity, but you see what I'm saying here. There's a huge supply and price difference that has not trickled down to the vendors yet. And I'd say that above and beyond that what 80% price difference from the mint to the retailer, way above and beyond that, you've got the silver price that's $27.90 on for spot. That's including that's running off the paper markets. Fuck that shit. Buy some silver. In Korea, we would keep a bucket of water and add a splash of bleach to decontaminate fresh produce. Really? Produce? Yeah, and I've heard that you can use bleach. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. I've got little water filter things and little well, first of all, I've got a bunch of bottled water. Second of all, I've got some of those life straws or whatever that have the filter in them. And I've also got different water filter kits. I've just got different things. Hopefully bleach is a last resort. Yeah. Huh. If you're looking at silver, consider industrial demand silver. They use and sell those shavings, but in this administration, we will be going green metals, semiconductor chips are a global shortage. Yeah, absolutely. And with the green movement is why Bitcoin can't last. Bitcoin takes so much energy to run. Yeah, the bullion markets like APMEX, for instance. So like you drop the produce into a bucket of water and then put in a few drops of bleach on top of that. Compared to other assets, relatively low. I mean, compared to say gasoline, high. Compared to any other sort of financial asset in the traditional sense, low. Although, because unlike currencies or cryptocurrencies or stocks, you've got, unlike something digital, you've got to do a physical exchange when you have physical silver. That's also the safety net. And that's also why silver is so incredibly cheap right now, because the paper markets haven't popped. I heard somewhere that for every ounce of physical silver, there are between 2,500 and 4,000 ounces being traded on the markets. So when I say silver, I mean the physical shit. I wouldn't touch a silver ETF. Like when you get on Robinhood and you see that you can buy silver there, I would never touch that. But yeah, I mean, silver's liquidity is lower than something else that you can buy, sell, or trade on your phone. But if you're in, but it's very liquid as far as things that you have to sell, because you can take silver coins. If you're in the Kansas City area, you can hit me up and I'll buy your silver. If you can take it to a coin shop, they'll buy your silver. You can mail them back into places like these websites. There's always going to be a price for silver, and it's not dependent on somebody needing to use it for an industrial purpose or whatever right now. Do I have a bathtub liner? They're about $20 and you can fill and keep water in the tub. I do not have a bathtub liner. That would probably be wise. What I do have is I'm streaming. What I do have is one of these, a 4-way Silcock key, And these can be used to open different industrial or commercial spigots. If you start looking around, there are a lot of water valves that don't just have crank levers open to the public, but do have the little squared keys. So I got one of them. Bitcoin has storage problems, is not carbon friendly. That is true. Tesla has given it some fiat, some way for people to spend. It opens markets to other merchandisers. It's also way slow. It's very slow to do a transaction. There's really no reason to use it except it's the first one out. Yeah, Tesla did give it some legs. I think that he's just manipulating the market. It's not a security. It's not a fiat, a central bank fiat. So, I mean, it's wide open for him to do whatever he wants. Pump up the value, jump out of it. I mean, it's not going to last at all. And I do think XRP will last, but I don't think any of the main cryptos will that people are hearing about right now. And I think that Tesla, I mean, if you're Tesla and you need silver to make your products, for instance, which you do, then you can put 1.5 what? Was it billion? You can put that cash over there to keep silver prices pushed down, because what you know is happening is that the Biden administration and the Trump administration before that, we're going on the second year, more than the second year of just printing presses running. So you know the dollar's decreasing value, and people know that. So people are trying to find safe havens against deflation. The stock market is bubbled, but is still doing relatively well because of inflation. The crypto market is hugely bubbled, but is doing relatively well. Like I said, what's being held down is the silver market, especially the physical silver. So if I have to throw away $150 or 150, one and a half, if I have to throw away $1.5 billion, but it means that I can get silver at 25 cents or $25 an ounce instead of $600 an ounce, which is a number I heard yesterday that it should be pegged at if there was no fake paper silver being traded. If that means that I can buy silver for my vehicles at $25 an ounce instead of $600 an ounce, then guess what? It's worth it. I just manipulated both markets that way. I'm sending people over to Bitcoin. It keeps prices down. People's attention is not on silver. And I think that that's very much what Elon Musk is doing. Yeah, and really for me, I stick to anymore. I played in all the cryptos and I still have some stock market stuff, but anymore I've basically gotten out of everything except for physical silver and XRP and a little bit of Ethereum. There's a handful of stocks here and there, but the bulk of my money is not in any of that stuff. Whoops. Yeah, and it probably isn't safe or ideal. We're talking about in a absolute last resort situation. The grid's gone down. Let's say you're in Texas and you get a freak ice storm and everything goes down and you're rolling blackout. Instead of 30 to 60 minutes is 36 straight hours, and you've got no electricity and no running water. And the running water you do gets on a boil only alert. If you're in that sort of desperate situation, you can drop a little bit of bleach into it, is what I've heard. I haven't done enough research. Don't just take my word for it, is what I'm saying. Do your own research and figure out how to do that shit. Thank you. Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, how crackheads will break the ends off of, the air pressure, the tire air machines because they can smoke crack out of them. That is true. Yeah, and one thing you can do, because a lot of these crypto wallets are really shitty about like Crypto.com, for instance. I opened a Crypto.com account, and now over a month and a half later, I can do everything on Crypto.com except for transfer back to my bank account. Um, I got approved for a debit card. So to get a debit card, they got to verify your social, your address, and your social and your address, which is the same thing to do fiat withdrawals back to your bank. To get one of their Crypto.com debit cards, I was approved instantly. It's been 3 fucking weeks, and I'm still waiting for approval to withdraw money back to my bank account. So if anyone else watching this is in that same boat with Crypto.com, or I'm sure others are like that, there's no customer service line. There is no customer service at all. You can talk to a bot, you can email, but basically you're at the mercy of them. What you can do is you can go to jmbullion.com. jmbullion.com lets you buy gold and silver with crypto. You'll have to transfer your cash, do Bitcoin Cash because it's the lowest exchange rate, but that is a way to get your money out of um, a sketchy crypto wallet that lets you put all the money you want into it, but now won't let you withdraw it. So JM Bullion. I'll type in the chat. I don't trust the Reddit group. I think that it's insiders. That's just me. I don't have any proof. It's just my personal instinct. That's good to hear. Do I have an inner monologue, a voice in my head that speaks to me like inner speech? I am discovering people have different experiences inside their head. Do you have visuals? I don't usually have an inner monologue. And if I'm remembering something, I'll have visuals. If I'm thinking hard through something, I might have some monologue. But I don't really have a lot of either. I'd say memory is more visual. My day-to-day life is not verbal. My thoughts aren't verbal. They're very much SE and TI. So what that's like for me is I'm aware of the real world surrounding me in the given moment, and my behavior or decision making or whatever I'm thinking through. If let's say I'm driving somewhere and I got to get gas, do I get it here, there? My thought process for making decisions is rational and it's sequential. but it's not verbal. So for me to explain it to somebody, like, why did you do this? I have to stop and backtrack and then think about it linearly and linguistically. Because, like I said, even though it does sort of go this, then this, then this, and this, and it kind of compares every avenue and goes down, say, A or B, A or B, A or B. It goes all the way down each path and in a sort of A or B, yes or no uh, way, and then ultimately comes to a conclusion that is based on a logical thought pattern. It's not articulated. So I have to backtrack and then get to the beginning. I have to backtrack so that I can see where I came from, then start at the beginning and explain each step forward until I get there, if that makes sense. But no, it's not verbal. Um, I do think that digital currency is a decade away, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's less than that. I don't think it's going to be Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to be Ethereum. I think it's going to be. Look, the powers that be are not going to just. The central banks, the banking cartel that runs the world, isn't going to just be like, fuck, we got this new cryptocurrency technology. We don't know how to get around it. We don't know how to control it. So you guys have at it. No, they're gonna do what you can kind of hear they're already doing. They're gonna do things like say, oh, it's only used for illegal activities, or oh, it's highly speculative, or oh, it's not, endorsed by any government. They're going to start issuing central bank digital currencies, and they're going to wipe all the other ones out. When that starts happening, all the Bitcoins and Ethereums and all the other shit's going to be toast. It's going to plummet in value because you're going to have like the Federal Reserve come out and say, well, we're issuing USDDC, the US dollar digital currency. And that's what banks are going to run on. That's what your PayPal is going to run on, because PayPal is a bank. That's what everything's going to run on, the USDDC. Mexico's going to issue the PDC, peso digital currency. And so you're still going to have these country-defined currencies, except the exchange is going to take place in blockchain. This is my belief. And so you're going to need an intermediary token that can be used globally to exchange national digital currencies. And I think it's going to be Ripple, XRP. That's why the one cryptocurrency I'm still in is XRP. It's almost impossible to find on an exchange if you're in the US. But the long and the short of it is, if you're a US customer and you want to buy XRP, what I did is I opened a crypto.com account, which I don't recommend. Find something better. But you can fund from your bank account or your debit card. You can buy crypto there. Then KuCoin is a different, KuCoin is a different wallet that you cannot fund through your debit card. But you can open an account in the US, and you can do exchanges that let you buy XRP. So what I did is I opened a crypto.com account. Again, I don't recommend crypto.com. They're skeezy. Open a crypto.com account, bought TUSD, transferred TUSD to my KuCoin account. And in KuCoin, I used TUSD to buy XRP. So if anybody has more questions about that, then let me know. I just kind of blurbed it really quickly so that if somebody already knows kind of the lay of the land, they can find the rest of the way there. But Where'd it go? Not really. Sometimes. Stretchy, melty cheese is more of a one that I can sort of taste. What's up? Oh, well, the last one was just really quick. It was quick and single topic. What's your type? Alice Marie. I think that most of the stock market and all of the crypto market and all the commodities being traded as if they're stocks. So the silver index, the gold index, the wheat or soybean index. I think all the digital money markets, I think they're all bubbles and they're all going to burst soon. I think Tesla stock is for sure overpriced. I don't own a bit of Tesla. You're an INTP. I think it's the same thing. XRP was created by Ripple to be a speedy, less costly, and more scalable alternative to both other digital assets and existing monetary payment platforms like Swift. Correct. Alice Marie, you got to tell us what type you are. And yeah, to that extent, I never have imaginary monologues like imaginary conversations. I almost never think, damn, you know what I should have said? Like, almost never. Alice Marie is still holding out on what type she is. Let's look at stocks. As far as stocks, I've got a little bit corn, CORN, and that is a commodity. It trains corn. I've got some CTRM, which has been my best performing stock. I bought it a while back. Even though it's down recently to $1.11, I bought it at like 52 cents. So that's still doing well for me. And I've got a handful of shares of where'd it go? TLSS that I bought a long time ago on somebody's advice. It was a really bad fucking tip, but I had like 15 or 20 bucks left in my account that I hadn't allocated anywhere since I sold my last shares or whatever. And so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'll just buy this. It's cheap. And somebody's recommending it. But the day after I bought it, it plummeted like down 80%. And so now I'm just holding on to these because what am I going to do? Sell it for an 80% loss and cash out like $3? And I'll just hold it in case, who knows, in case it turns around like it did. Here at Flow State, we love boring sensors. There's no such thing as a boring sensor. There's only boring intuitives. That's why we beat them the fuck up. Yes, it is. But if you're located in the US, what most of the wallets will do is like Binance, for instance. If you log in from the US, Binance will not let you get XRP. XRP is being sued by the SEC, even though it's a shoddy lawsuit. When the SEC filed that claim, basically everybody took it offline. So even though you can do that with all wallets, what you can't do is get XRP. KuCoin is one of the 2 or 3 I heard of that lets you do it, but I've been happy with KuCoin relatively, and basically all I've done with it is transfer in, use my funds to buy XRP and hold it. I have transferred out a little bit. I have done some sales and transferred some out, so I know it works both ways. But not all wallets will let U.S. customers get XRP. Hmm. Um, maybe. I think that no, actually, probably not. I think more accurate would be the cuckoo clock that only chimes once a week, but when it does chime, it's dead on. And the rest of the time, we, NI inferior types are out here going, "What time is it? I don't know. Must be 3 o'clock." And then once a week, the cuckoo clock is like, "It's midnight." And we're like, "Oh shit, we were 2.5 days off. You should do that more often." But then the NI Dom's like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that any more often. Keep guessing, peasants." Is himself Eric? Who's himself? Or is that your husband? Because you're married to one of us, right? Aren't you married to an ESTP? Hmm. Well, you did. You did better than me and my ex-wife did because we did not part as friends. But she's not an NI dom. She's the other NI inferior type. She's an ESFP. So yeah, there was that divorce was every bit as not amicable as you would expect. Other functions such as what? FE. Well, sounds like it went as well as you could hope for. "1979" is one of the best Smashing Pumpkins songs ever written. One of the best songs ever written. It's certainly one of the top 3 Smashing Pumpkins songs. Up there with "Disarm" and "Bullet with Butterfly Wings." Makes sense. Yeah, I read that book a long time ago. I still have it somewhere. I did read Please Understand Me 2, which is, I guess, just the revised version of Please Understand Me 1. I'm rolling off memory, so I could be wrong, but I don't think Please Understand Me and Please Understand Me 2 are entirely different books. I think Please Understand Me 2 is just the updated edition. But yeah, I read that book. It's probably been 4 years. That's probably true. About books, one that I do want to get is shit, what's it? Um, I want to get somebody help me. Who's the guy that Socionics Model G, Galenko. I want to get Victor Galenko's latest book. I've heard really good things about it. It might say on my thing that I do. If you want Enneagram typing, um, then yes, I offer it. No, it's not. It's sort of a mainstay um, product. Um, if you want it, if you want Enneagram typed, shoot me an email. Um, I just dropped my email in the thing. I will offer it if requested. I don't. Um, I've really only done 2 of them, and both of them were add-on services to a socionics typing. So, no, that's not true. I've done 3 or 4. I haven't done one in a while. So yeah, if you want one, shoot me an email. Um, but typically I've done them in conjunction, if that's the right word. I've done them with a socionics typing. Um, but if you're interested in them as just a standalone thing, then shoot me an email and I'll do the same. I'll do the same deal I do for a socionics typing, which for the video typing service. Um, but I'll probably modify the questions slightly. So shoot me an email and we'll get that worked out if you want it. Yeah, I saw he was getting 8 teeth removed. No, I haven't talked to him since, and I don't expect to talk to him for a second. I'm sure he's in pain. I'm sure he has I'm sure he has or will have dry sockets because he's going to keep smoking cigarettes. And I wouldn't expect him to be doing live streams or anything for a second, but I don't know how you let your teeth get to that point. With Enneagram, the Enneagram's harder to do with tests, in my opinion. It's got more of a, for lack of better words, more of a spiritual and less of a behavioral component, which certainly there is behavioral aspects to Enneagram, and certainly um, you can see how something like socionics or typology would have or could have spiritual aspects as well. But I've never been happy with any socionics. I'm sorry, with any Enneagram test. I appreciate the promo. But just like all systems, um, the best way to get your type is to understand the systems and self-apply them. I'd say that's especially so for Enneagram, more so than really any other one. And just from the hip, and I'll type this in the chat too, who I recommend is Naranjo. I read Naranjo's, like I already knew I was a type 8, but when I read Naranjo's, his first name is Claudio Naranjo's type 8 description. It was one of those things. I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is why my life is the way it is. And just everything made perfect sense. So if you're on the fence, about maybe I'm this type, maybe I'm that type, check out Claudio Naranjo's description of the types and see which one resonates to you. And again, if you'd like Enneagram typing from me, shoot an email to that email address I provided in the chat. And I will help where I can. Oh, and I forgot to mention in the earlier video, I do have my policy is that because I waited for like 2 years to even offer typing services because I was trying to figure out how the product could be offered without the product's existence cheapening itself. And by that, what I mean is once there's a financial demand, once somebody's paying me to give them a type, I have an incentive to give them a type whether it's right or not. And so my personal approach has always been if I can't figure it out from the video response that I get from the video where the client answers the questions, I will refund the money or do more interaction, ask them more questions at no additional charge. Basically, it's on me to figure it out or else they get their money back. If I just can't figure it out, they get their money back. And so far I have not had anybody where I kick back their money and just like, I don't know. But I have had a solid probably third of the people who buy my video typing sessions, I go back for more information. I ask them more questions to clarify a few things. And so the same, and so I would approach Enneagram typing the same way. If I just don't know, you'll get your money back. But what is more likely than that is that I'll come back for more questions and all that additional sort of research or poking and prodding. That's all on my dime, not yours. Yeah, those were good videos. And she's a great live stream partner. I need to hit her up and do some more with her. Yeah, I think the Christianity has fucked up Enneagram because they try to do things like make the sexual instinct not about sex when it absolutely is about sex in a large way. They do shit like that. I'll hit her up and do some more. Does anybody, if or when Kat and I do another video or live stream, does anybody have any specific questions or suggestions? And actually, here, Catherine Farber's tri-type test, if I remember, that was one of the ones that was pretty good. She does not have a YouTube. No. She's got a Discord channel called Transcendence. Well, good point. Um, yeah, I mean that's a valid point. Yeah, because ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm selling an opinion, and I just respect my opinion too much to put out some fuck shit. So, if you can count on one thing, count on my ego supporting at least my perceived quality of what I'm kicking back. More than other types, the SP is subject to what Carl Beeler, one of the greatest Gestalt psychologists, called function lust. That is a craving for impressive action, a longing to perform some conspicuous function in their social context and so make their mark. Kiersey. I would say that seems true. Gestalt psychology is a little bit wonky from what I know about it, but I don't know a lot about it. No, I don't think I do. Um, and actually, a lot of an a disproportionate majority, actually, of who I type are FI types. I get a lot of INFP requests, which is sort of counterintuitive because I'm an ESTP, and so in socionics they're my conflictor type, which is the worst possible relationship between two types. So you'd think that they would not um, seek out my opinion, but on the other hand, they are also INFPs are overrepresented in the type community, and particularly since I've got a YouTube channel, they can watch me and get to know me from a distance before approaching me. So that sort of offsets the conflictor type. But no, I don't think I have a hard time typing FPs at all for that reason. If anything, kind of the opposite. I can feel viscerally a lot of FI in somebody. My girlfriend is an ISFP. My girlfriend's an FI Dom. My ex-wife is an ESFP, FI tool. I'm very versed in FI. Albeit as far as those two examples go, more in context of FI with SE, but through the typology community, I mean, like I said, there's a ton of INFPs. I'd say that FI is, especially since it's my trickster polar, it's one of the easiest functions for me to recognize in somebody else. I thought Gestalt psychology was its own. I think that it's its own branch of psychology. I could be wrong. Yeah, Beta Quadra is best at typing. Uh, ESTP and ENFJ, if I remember. ESTP has been found to be the best at reading people, in a handful of things I've read that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I would say that ENFJs also deserve to be up there as long as they don't project. Did I do some FE child? That's correct. Conflictor types don't get along really well in a lot of different aspects, but in my experience with INFPs as my conflictor type, it seems to be worse up front and then it smooths out over time. But I've never been in like an intimate relationship or a close proximity relationship with an INFP. So I'd imagine that if we lived together, it would pick right back up. But when I encounter an INFP, they're almost always they treat my assertive demeanor as what I believe is hostility, which sort of makes sense if you're an FI Dom and you're SE polar. The only time they're going to have any oomph behind them is when they're up in their FI about something. But when I'm, being assertive or loud, whatever, just forceful, it's not a reflection of FI at all because that's my polar. I just don't have that going on. It's just a way of being. So I think that once they get their head around that, they realize that I'm not being mean, things settle out. But I would suspect that in a close relationship, that wouldn't last. It would ultimately, we'd end up having to make decisions about real world shit in real life, and it would not last. True. I would be interested to hear if anyone else's stream keeps glitching. I'm probably about to wrap up pretty quick here anyways, but if anybody's been glitching, I do want to know about that. Because I've got the Wi-Fi extender. I'm touching it right now. It's that close. So if other people are getting glitches, I want to know about it and figure out why. No glitching for Mike. I like your profile picture. Any other questions, comments, concerns, conspiracy theories, crypto tips, anything like that before I close up shop? Yeah, I have noticed that. Elaborate on what you're asking me. If you're asking about me personally, I haven't changed anything in my type for quite a minute. So I think that, myself included, all the MAGAs and QAnoners and everybody got taken for a ride. And there's really no way to see it in the moment. But now, after the fact, looking at the way that he merged the Treasury and the Treasury and the Fed, so that the central bank has just free run of the printing press and the way that he initiated Operation Warp Drive and the way that he invited everybody to the Capitol on January 6th for what? To fall into a completely foreseeable trap. That really, like, if you watch, get on Twitter and look up videos from that night, that the insurrection wasn't an insurrection at all. It was an open door. There was no cops. They just let people walk in. It was a complete trap. So the way that he laid the groundwork for vaccine distribution, the way that he laid the groundwork and started the money presses printing, and the way that he invited all of the all of his support base into an obviously foreseeable trap. All that points to, you got suckered. We got had. So I think that anybody who's still waiting for Trump to take back the presidency or do this or do that or run in 2024, everybody needs to just take a good hard look at things and realize that he's an actor. He did a damn good job. Stop following him. What hearings? Do you think that I described INFP, ESTP conflictor relationship accurately just now? If you're talking about how some people think Trump's going to take office in March or wherever, yeah, I've heard that. Am I on board with it? Nah. I think that there's a level of cognitive dissonance that people need to get the fuck over and realize that both sides are just putting on a show. Stop being distracted by the news about Trump or whatever. It's all distraction. Well, if you have any corrections or additions, I'd love to hear them. I was sort of just speculating. So. Oh yeah. Biden is, Kamala is, like, the whole thing is and has been rigged. What Trump did was set up, because if Biden had merged the Treasury and the Fed together, people would have flipped the fuck out, and properly so. And I remember when Trump did that, that was one of those things where I'm like, no, this is a fucking problem. But I guess hopefully he's not full of shit. Turns out I think he was full of shit. Again, it's all just theater. There's no reason to pay attention to any of that stuff. The important thing to know is that it wasn't really an insurrection. But what it has done is, everybody on the left, like Antifa, was already deemed a terrorist organization. Now they're gearing up to make, or already have, to make the right a terrorist organization. You've got right-wing extremism. The left is, I believe, technically Antifa is a terrorist organization. So now you've got everybody except for the passive, opinionless middle. Everybody else who's got an opinion, either way, is an extremist. That's the important thing to realize. That's not a bad idea. Oops. I'm actually going to take a picture of that and send it to her right now. I do not. Give me just a second and I'll look her up. I've steered away from relationships with types intentionally. I don't think that there's a lot. I think that the urge that people have to find relationship advice is in different systems is greater than the reality of the of what it offers. She said possibly in the future. She's been kind of meh lately. Cat. I am not. But that is something that's interesting. So I'm going to look it up in a tab real quick before I forget about it. All right, I just sent that to her. Probably. Timothy Snyder. John Dean. My tri type is 836. Sexual social. The 6 on the end is counterphobic. No, it's not. NI is a perceiving function. It's got nothing to do with wanting something or willpower. It's all about perception. Yeah, I've got 2 open tabs and 3 search results in YouTube that to go back to later for that. Preach. Sean O'Neill's killing it. That's why there's so fucking many. I mean, there were already a ton of FI DOMs mistyping as NI DOMs anyways. That was already a thing. Then CS Joseph hits the scene with that fuck shit, and he's just cranking out FI egos who think that they're NI egos, which they're obviously not to anybody who's been around the block and realizes that there's a certain grit that an ISFP has that an INFJ doesn't. I also very much dislike on this note about parenting style and CS Joseph. I very much, very much strongly suggest people not indulge in any of his parenting advice for your kids' sakes. Just skip that whole thing. I don't subscribe to using type for parenting at all, anyways, for a number of reasons that I intend to make a video about. But for sure, don't do it with CS Joseph because he is a shitty parent. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that without having reasons to believe that. I'm very much opposed to getting involved in people's personal lives or dragging up personal dirt if it's unnecessary. But I feel like in this context, since I recently heard that he's making parenting videos that are behind a paywall, and since I know that he sells parenting coaching, for your kids' sake, don't apply that shit. He's a fucked up person who's fucking up his kids. Don't pay him to fuck up yours. Except he's not, though. He fucks it up.
You eat candy. You eat sugar. That's why you're fat. That's why.
This is him talking to his daughter.
You eat candy. You eat sugar. That's why you're fat. That's why you're obese. Because you can't say no. And I said, candy controls your life. Treats control your life. How about you don't have treats? How about you choose not to have treats?
That's not the one I was looking for.
Have sprinkles in it. And I was just being a whiny little bitch about it. I'm like, dang, that's my daughter. That's me and my daughter right there. Wow. Yeah, I was really fucked up as a depraved little ENP myself. Thank God I had it effectively beaten out of me by life. Well, when it comes to my daughter, yes, Swift Arrow. When it comes to my daughter, you know, I just lost my shit. I lost my shit at the depravity, and I pulled her in the hallway, and I got down on one knee, looking right at her, eye to eye, and I said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Why are you so depraved? Why are you so selfish all the time? You obese." And I told her, no one's going to want you when you're older. No one's going to desire you. No one's going to think highly of you. So I hit her hero function by saying, no one's going to want you. And then I said to her TE, no one's going to think highly of you. Everyone's going to think you're bad. Everyone's going to think you're worthless. Hit her TE child. And obviously making her uncomfortable with her SI inferior. Then I say, tell me, why do you think this is good? Why do you believe this is good, FI parent? Tell me, why is this good? She just starts crying. She just starts crying. And I'm like, and I tell.
So, I mean, you get the gist of it. I got it's a 5-part little video clip here. There's like 7 minutes of video, but you can see how if your child is fat, looking them in the eye and telling them they're depraved and worthless and selfish and nobody will want them is probably a bad approach. I don't recommend it. And even more than that, somebody who doesn't have this self-awareness to not tell that in the live stream to his Facebook group, you know, I don't know. It seems like a shit parent to me. When really, it seems obvious to me, at least, that who he's yelling at is himself, his fat self. Oh no, that's some thick projection. Yeah, vice versa. The two mistype a lot because they're both assertive. Socionics clears that out a little bit more than MBTI does, because in socionics, the socionics version of an ENTJ is more intuitive-y, I guess, for lack of a better word, and less managerial. But those mistypes are common. It's all ridiculous. That is correct. So, anyways, I was given those video clips a little while back. Like I said, there's about 7 minutes of video where he goes into this story about how depraved his daughter is, and then how he deals with it by telling his daughter she's a depraved piece of shit. Which, imagine being that kid and you're just living your life. Next thing you know, dad's telling you what a piece of shit you are. It's like that's terrible parenting. Don't ever take parenting advice from this dude. And the request when I got the clips was that this be addressed in a video. So it's still my intention to make a video with those. But I've just, I guess, just been dragging my feet because it feels personal. Because it's personal. And it feels kind of dirty to me, even though, whatever, I probably should just get over it and make one. In socionics, TE is more pragmatic and less assertive. TE and MBTI is more assertive. So if you think about TI in both systems, TI is not assertive. It just is logical. It's internally logical. Similarly, in socionics, TE is externally logical. It's the same thinking process, just in a different realm. And so it doesn't cross lines with SE, which is pushy and assertive and forceful. It sterilizes, socionics sterilizes TE into more of a thinking only function. TI hero's stubborn. And yeah, I mean, as well, the lack of FE, but I mean, it depends on who's using TI hero. If you deal with an INTP and an ISTP, they're very different in their forcefulness. An INTP just won't change their mind if they think the other person's wrong. I don't recall if I said that right. An INTP will not change their mind and concede the point if they think somebody else is wrong. They'll just be stubborn, but they won't be assertive with it. An ISTP will be assertive with it. Like, this is the way we do shit, and we're doing shit this way. True. But with the ISTP, INTP example, you can really see how the SE is the source of pushiness. And that would fall in line more with socionics perspective on it, which I think is accurate. You know, there's no reason why TI would be coldly rational and TE would be anything less than rational. There's no reason why TE and MBTI would get more assertiveness cred than TI. They're both thinking functions. Well, I think about to call it quits. Unless anybody's got any great engaging things. The last time I tried this a few minutes ago, all of a sudden y'all come swooping in with the with all the big questions. Why is Trump a Trojan horse? What about this? So is there anything else that needs to be worked out? Yeah, I'd never really thought about that, but that does seem from the hip, that seems accurate. And it would make sense too. I have to agree. All right. You know what? I'm going to grab a drink of water, then I'll come back to this. Um, surprises me the most in what way? Sean, what type are you? I would say that ISTJs, it does surprise me how much I end up liking them. I've got to give myself time to get to know them, though, which is not always something that I do as an ESTP. I do that to people sometimes. And if anyone wants to, I just dropped the link to this. Anybody's welcome to come in. I see that some of y'all are having a conversation here. I don't intend to, I suppose, continue attending to this live stream with my full attention like I have been, but I don't mind leaving it up a bit longer if y'all are chatting here. However, if anyone wants to hop in, you're welcome to. Welcome, ENFJ. Sean, what's going on?
Not much.
Welcome, ENFJ. Sean, what's going on?
Well, that's like the core type, right? Like, I feel like I'm not really type anymore.
Hold on, maybe that's me.
Well, that's like the core type, right?
There it is. Hold on. Hey, can people in the chat hear Sean? Hold on. Hey, can people in the chat hear Sean?
Oh, dirt. I gotta turn that off.
Hey, can people in the
There we go. Whoops. There we go. What's up?
What's up, man? We've talked on TWFP before, haven't we?
Yeah, a while back.
Yeah.
I've progressed a lot since then.
I see you've got a man bun going on.
Yeah, I heard that before. I'm pretty sure.
Did you?
But I got Master SI, man, so that was dope.
If I had thick enough hair to pull off a man bun,
yeah,
I would. But as it is, I don't think I got enough of it.
Yeah.
But
it's so weird.
Man, not shit. I actually.
You can get this probably because of TI, right? Like, I'm just straight up assuming you are where you are, but like how TI just keeps disparate concepts all over. I had some random ass YouTube video just hit me, and it said terror, horror, 8 hertz frequency, right? And this is like terror, horror, frequency, 8 hertz, whatever. I was like, let it play, whatever. It played for half an hour. I'm like, I heard it because I'm HSP, so I could hear that shit, but even though it's 8 hertz, but I didn't feel shit. And I turned it off. When I turned it off, I felt relaxed. I felt like tension came out of my chest. I was like, what the fuck? And so I tried it again for a couple minutes and I turned it off and I felt again. I felt relaxed, but I didn't feel anything come on me, only come off me. So then I'm like, I don't want this to be psychosomatic. I'm very skeptical myself, like even like this bullshit, right? So this guy, Roman, he's a French ESTP, and I told him about it. Even from the beginning, he's like, no, dude, whatever. I'm like, just put it on. So he's listened to it for a couple minutes. We're just talking like normal. Then he turns it off, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "What?" He's like, "I feel like my mind's like decluttered," you know. I was like, "Okay." Then I went to a couple of Discords. There was like a 10 people one and an 8 people one. I played that, and it gave the same effect, right? So people with SI were being able to sense this, and then with the TI coming in, this is what I'm saying. This is how I got this kind of like spark. Was in the 60s they introduced the pattern blocks. Just those stupid pattern blocks in primary school. There's no homework involved. You just play with them, and it helps math scores later on. Like every school have it. It's like worth money, crazy easy, right? So in this way, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna see what happens because this seems to be something that's like SI, like some internal sensing. Like I'm not aware of this SI stuff or like stress on my body, that kind of thing. So I would listen to this a few times a day for a couple minutes, turn it on, turn it off. I never really felt the pressure come on, but then I feel this relief come on. When does
the relief come off?
So when I turn off the sound.
And what was the sound? It was 432.
It's called 8 hertz terror. Just some weird video with like some scary girl face. And so after about 3 weeks doing this, I started on December 11th. Doing this, and then I started getting. That's awesome, man. Yeah, so I started getting implicit memories, which is something I studied like crazy when I first came in because, SI is supposed to be bipolar. I didn't understand what was SI. I have 2 SI dom sister, like really like trying to figure out everything that can be SI, But one thing that was really clear was the implicit memory, like, haptic and sensory, like really feeling your emotion and feeling the body senses from long-term memory. It's like, I didn't have access to that. I had like emotional amnesia on the memories wise, right? I started getting implicit memories, and it was over like nothing. Like I suddenly got one that was like the first time I ever played dodgeball in 3rd grade, and I didn't know what dodgeball was because I went to a different school in 3rd grade, and then it's coming and like everyone's so hype, and I was just like absorbing their emotion, and I had no idea what's going on, and it's like playing dodgeball, and I just had a time of my life. It was like the best thing ever. So then I was like, I write this down, and I started a little Google Doc spreadsheet, and I just started writing them down as they came, and then yeah, man, I just like really want to open myself to it. I got a little bit worried at one point because I was like, do I really want this or not? Because it's supposed to be like superpower to not have. And then I had one dream And I woke up in my dream. Waking up, I woke up. My room's all clean and perfect. I'm like, oh yeah, SI's been here. And then I really woke up and I'm like, no, she hasn't. Fuck. I was like, you know what? It's gonna be great to have it, dude. Just like fuck it. I just opened my heart to that, you know. And a few weeks later, world changing. Like I felt like an SI dom. Suddenly, I really understood what this means with this update shit. It's like living in a plurality of realities. Like I went to take a shower. I get out, feel awesome. Fucking hot shower, feel really good. I go back to the shower 4 hours later. It feels like a hot room. It feels like that happy feeling's there, but it's not. It's just illusion. And I let that stay like that for a day. And then I find I'm like, okay, brain, look, cold and dry, not fucking hot and wet. There is no fucking steam shower on, you know, like, but I was feeling it. And then I did that, open the door and touch it, and then it break the illusion. And it's like that. Like that's what it's like to be a fucking SJ. Like they're just like, it's, and if my like room is like not locked there, that thing seems to like jerk and snap at me like with this like thing on the door here, you know?
I have listened to, I know that 432 hertz is supposed to be like nature's frequency or whatever. 432 hertz is supposed to be the best for your well-being. 440 hertz.
I think that was why it was a recommended video. Something like that.
440 hertz is what most music and stuff is tuned to.
Yeah.
If
you got like some good Sennheisers, like they only go down to like 20. They don't even go to 8. Like this is supposed to be like subhuman hearing.
I've listened to some of that shit that's like 432 hertz, and I can't tell any difference in the moment either. I would imagine that is an SI thing. I think you're probably right about that. I don't think I mentioned this to you, and I don't really want to get into it here on a live stream. Yeah. But it is my opinion that you're an ISTP.
Okay, but what about the extrovert part?
I think that,
because I mean, I thought I was beta quad or something else. I
think you mentioned that you were taking Adderall or something similar last time we talked. No, nothing similar.
No, I don't take anything.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I drink caffeine drinks, and like I do.
If I remember from our last conversation, I think that, and again, I'm rolling off memory, so don't hold me to it. But
no worries.
I don't think I thought that you were an ENFJ. I think that I thought you were an ISTP.
Well, there was a lot of like
caffeinated, or maybe it was the Red Bulls or something.
It was a lot of people coming at me too, and they were like, "You're not ENFJ because you're not nice," and I'm like, "You guys are all attacking me, and it's not fair right now. But if you're trying to tell me about my social grace critique, I have no fucking mercy for you because I'll ignore that completely, right? Like that's stupid."
Okay, well, see, hold on a second.
Yeah.
So what you just said there, though, your reasoning, you're all coming at me. I will just ignore etiquette. Like that's specifically not an FE Dom sort of response.
No, it was the critique. I said that the whole thing was the reaction to critique, and I typed everybody there, and then they get upset about it. I'm like, look, it's just my opinion. I was like, it doesn't mean that like that's controlling your life. And that one girl, like Stacy something, I don't know, she got really upset, right? Because like I don't know who it was, but she was an SI Dom that she thought she's a NI Dom, but her reaction to critique was consistent with Eric's list, which I thought was like one of the best ways to type people. Like, if you type someone in like 30 seconds and you don't care about it, like no mercy, just hit them on like their 6, 7, 8, or 4, like that. If you hit those functions like that, it's like very obvious, like what happened there, So,
I mean, be careful with any type people in 30 seconds.
Sure.
Like that. I don't. I mean, when Eric's doing it, you got to understand that Eric got to this list after like 3-4 years of doing it.
That's the thing. It boggled my mind. He never used it. He never used that to confirm type, like at all. He likes.
I'm trying not to. I've been live streaming for like 2 hours now between the two of them, and I can only sit and talk to the camera without doing shit for so long. So if you're wondering what I'm doing arts and crafts over here on the side. So I keep muting myself so that I'm not crinkling.
I think it's a good mic. It's probably fine. I don't hear any crinkles. So.
Well, I've been muting it.
Yeah, I've seen that too, but it seems not bad. Like the thing is though, it's like the FE stuff, like is really there for me. Like
it's not really there.
No, it is. It's there. It's like I didn't like want to be an 8, for example, right? I really didn't want to be 8. And I think that's really related to being like FE dumb as well. Like I wanted to be a 2. I thought that's like the sexiest name on the freaking diagram. And like I was very close to a 2. And the guy that typed me, he's like, I'm like, man, I don't think I'm an 8, dude. Like I don't have to be in charge. I'll let anyone else be in charge if they're competent. I'll follow them. Like, I'm just like not really being real with myself.
So
after 2 days, he finally hit me. He was like, dude, this is how you are. This is how you answer. This is how you always behave. You always control everything. You never let someone to fucking take control anywhere. It's like, look, when you're doing it at your best, you'll display this stuff of the 2. When you're at your like kind of under stress, then you'll show some of these negative aspects of like the average 5. And that's what hit me like that. I was like, oh fuck, that's me. Like telling people they're fucking stupid and just going off and shit like that. I'm like, oh my god. I'm a fucking 8. It's like, oh damn.
Which all to me sounds very much like ISTP behavior, going off on people when they think they're stupid.
Yeah, I get that too. But it's like the FE part is that like my very first memories, man, is not like to do anything. Like I just accept to stop other kids from hurting each other. And it's not an FI thing. I don't care if the other kids. I just care behavior, like everywhere.
Right.
I just want everyone to stop.
But think about it like this. Think about it like this. Your dominant function is like air. You don't think about air. Like I thought I was an ENTP for 2 years because I had to understand what SD was.
I was insecure in my thinking though. Like when somebody called me dumb dumb, it just like made me cry like so bad. Like I taught myself to read when I'm 3, and then I said like Kroger, and then this stupid like my mom's boyfriend said, no, you're stupid, you're wrong. So I got like all paranoid, even though I taught myself this shit, and then I quit reading for 3 years until 1st grade. And then I realized that I somehow like betrayed myself. You know what I mean? Because I thought, oh, I don't want to fuck it up because I don't want to have to learn something the wrong way and then unlearn it, And that's the thing that would bother me. Not what people thought about me, not managing perceptions, But the thing that would bother me is if people thought I was gullible, right? I didn't ever care if somebody thought I was mean or some shit like that. Like that's like the F, you know what I'm saying? Like I was very secure in like FE concerned stuff, and knowing what's going on, knowing how to read people, like knowing what's going on with them, like. When I went to school, like I didn't even worry about crying because when somebody told me not to cry at home, it was like I felt like I could see him and see what he's seeing in me, and like just like he was more afraid of me than for me when I'm crying. Like he's like looking at me like I'm Jack from The Incredibles or something. Like I'm gonna hurt him because I'm crying, So it's just like fuck you, I'll just cry. I feel better. And even at school, I would cry. I would cry like all the time. It didn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like I was never insecure for like FE shit. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I really understand people and understand feeling and. Even stand up to adults is like no problem, but I'm very insecure about the T, like if somebody called me stupid, I would be like, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, it was just like made me blow up for that. So I feel like. So
let's hit this question real quick. When I talk, and this goes for really every video I ever do, I talk in MBTI, but I'm thinking socionics.
Yeah,
I'm really communicating I'm talking about socionics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you got there?
Yeah, I got Galico's book here. Like this shit.
Oh, nice. I was just saying I want to get that book.
This shit, I make a lot more sense, man. The problem with this actual physical book though is it's dog shit. Like they got some shitty publisher because like the pages will straight fall out. But
so what? Are you the same way? You speak MBTI, but you think socionics?
I take whatever is good, just take it. Like in this, like when they talk about the ENTP.
Well, I mean, for the audience's sake, because it's confusing, not knowing what our basis is. So that's what I'm saying. My basis, I'm speaking, even though I might use MBTI lingo, I'm speaking socionics. Okay. So what are you speaking? Are you speaking socionics, or you learned about it from host Eric, right?
Well, yeah, from like starting from there, that like he's the one like helped me to decide like, oh yeah, I'm ENFJ or whatever. But it was like it seemed the one that fit anyway, because I was like didn't understand the SI part, at that time. So, and also the demon TE, like like could relate to that a lot. Like if I was doing the task, because I was in the military, I was an engineer even, and
yeah, Mom mentioned that you
I didn't want to be told to do it, huh?
Winston's mom in the chat mentioned that you worked on an aircraft carrier as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I bet that's fucking tight.
I mean, it is aviation. I loved it always, but it's a rough job. The crab fishing dudes, they're like the worst, but it's like the second most lethal job there is. So somebody died every cruise, and it's a small crew really, only 5,500 people. So You're gonna know the
On
person that died.
what crew?
You know? Like on the Kitty Hawk, you know, like that's what I was on. But like aircraft carrier in general, like it's a big ship or whatever, but still, it's somebody dies like every cruise, man. So at least
Right. No, I was talking to a dude at my work. This was a year and a half or 2 years ago, so it's been a minute. But he was telling me about how, like, just the kitchen alone, because I worked at a concrete plant, and we had this massive cement mixer that would mix up a whole bunch of concrete, and he was saying that they had 2 vats the size of our concrete mixer just to make like mashed potatoes in for the crew. It's wild to hear about.
Yeah, I mean that's normal though. Like even like big restaurants, you know, it's like.
Oh, it's a little bit. It was bigger than the biggest restaurant I've ever been to.
Well, the shit thing is the
I've
shit.
never set foot
no
on an
wheels,
aircraft
man.
carrier, and so understanding the scale of these things, it's like mind-boggling to me. You know?
Yeah, that's true. It's like a 90 feet drop from the bow to the water. So
anyways, that was just my little segue. I didn't mean to geek out on.
No worries. But like you know, I really relate to the socialites a lot, especially like where they talk about, you know, and Eric's talking like 3 and 5 together too. But like your launcher, you know, it's like this SEFI launcher that's like playful thing for me, and
and I'm not trying to debate you or change your mind here, but I would encourage you to just maybe consider look at the.
I don't consider myself a type anymore, like at all, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, just consider whether or not you could just look at the LSI, which is the ISTP, because
I can't be introverted. That's the problem, because like I couldn't look inside. It was like very painful to do that. You know what I mean? Like it was so painful to look inside. I feel like I'm an extrovert that could become almost ambivert because I really gained the ability to look inside. But that was a really painful process to be able to look inside of me, you know? Like that's like really when I'm like 19, like when I started doing that. And like to me, like that was part of like a shadow work and other things doing this. So, but looking inside was super painful, man.
But you know what? I think also when I was thinking ISTP, it was predicated on you being on Adderall or something. If you're not on any uppers, then you're probably not.
Yeah, people would always say that to me, like when I was in the military too. They're like, "Man, what are you on? What's one he's on? Or you need to get laid, all that shit like that." It's like actually, I found out the sociologists have some kind of good reason because they're like, you always talking about ENFJ, say like they got this crazy energy, and then in sociologics it really break it down. It was like, look, you're SI polar, so you ignore when you're tired. Okay, fine. But unlike the ENTJ, like you've got demon TE, which make you go even more. And that explained a lot of the like, I would sleep like 30 hours a week, and I did that like my life, you know. So it's just, it seems okay for me, you know, like just push, and then weekends is like I'll have a catch up day, you know. It's like been my normal sleep pattern for my life, and you know,
I can relate to that. Let's see. Winston's mom, I cannot keep up with the comments. Yeah, see, and again, when I don't know how the conversation went last time we talked, but
it was brief.
but
you kind of showed up and you sort of defended your friend.
When I decided that you were an ISTP, or when I thought that was likely,
well, I mean, you can't.
In my head, it only worked if you were on uppers. If you're not on uppers, then it doesn't work for me.
Well, you know what's funny about SE though, because like I was in biology, right, at uni, and there was some point that like some girl didn't understand and stuff like that, and I just knew that this would sail. I knew that she would fucking get it if I say this. I was like, no, it's like when you've been celibate for a while, you get a new boyfriend, and then your next period come faster. It's like, oh, and then like all these other girls like, oh, the professor's like, what? That's true? And every girl unanimously said yes. And he's like, how do you know that? And I was like, how do you not know that? And like SE is like that, man. Like when someone's an estrus, man, and just like you notice things about people's bodies and shit. It's just like really easy to be in tune with them. And so like I love the SE part of that. Like I never ever wanted to like not be a sensor or something. I thought I was like ESTP so many times. I thought like I just know I was beta because like I really related to these functions so hard at an early age, like so early age for the FE and the SE like that, you know. And then when Eric said like like the 6 slots is kind of like can be really active, like can be pretty strong. And like I didn't have dad, so I was like, maybe it makes sense. Like, okay, but if like I don't have dad around, then I can get even more creative, I guess, or more any just to make up for this lack or some shit, like psychologically, So I don't know. That's kind of a hyper kid too.
Know. And the perceiving functions are easy to not understand at first because intuition is so poorly explained. Like intuition is hard to explain, and sensing is almost too easy to explain. And so people, like I said, I thought I was an ENTP for.
When Nardi talk about it in the thing, and he's talking about the sensate SE and the mover SE. As soon as I see that mover SE, I'm like, oh, I fucking know that. Like, yeah, like, and also that made it make sense for NI for me too, because SE is like it's got your pronoun in there. It's like this is me. Like how does the world affect me, and how me is affect the world. Like it's constantly doing impact calculus, and like, ooh, it's a good vibe in here. I like it in here. You know what I mean? Like, and just SE in general. Like for me, I don't think this FE. I think it's SE. So if you can speak to that, but especially a group of males, and like they're all SE users, and everybody everybody feel everybody, and there's like a pecking order get established easy, and nobody have to say anything. And if there's a bunch of them get together and talk, like everybody talking, one guy hasn't even talked yet, but we all feel his excitement come. Like he's like more excitement, and then everybody just turned to him automatically to look at him to speak. It's like I feel good in a group of like good SE users like that. Like it's just like natural, But that to me made the most sense because SE, you can have like a broken leg if you don't have NI to counter that shit. Because like you're just always wanting to do shit like parkour and go and do shit. Like you need a little bit of foresight. Like sometimes, whoa, and I'd be like, yeah, that might fuck you up. And I've actually done that shit. Like I've been there ready to jump and then like get like an NI thing and like grab the fucking branch and like whoa, and it's like because I just got like this NI pop that just saved my life or some shit, probably, or at least a broken leg, not that be traumatic, but like that made sense to me, and it really made sense to me that like SE just feel like your pronoun is in there, you know what I mean? It's like this me feeling, and then NI feels like this whole other feeling. But it's somehow you, because it's like your subconscious. So it's like it speaks in the really right way, it speaks in a really good language that you trust. It's like your most twinest brother you can imagine, because it's using your own fucking brain, but it's just not you as an ego sensing, you know what I mean? So I feel like you kind of got like two brain. People talk about NI being slow. I make a video, I'm like, I don't understand you talking about NI slow. I'm like, me and NI is like fucking racing each other.
I don't know if you understand slow.
Yeah, I don't understand that, man, because like NI is like racing me. Like we're both trying to get to the problem. I feel it's like God help those that help themselves. Like if you're pushing your own car down the fucking road, then somebody will stop instead of you just stop there, like whatever, So like I'm trying to figure it out. I don't want my subconscious to get it before I do. That's why we're competitive. Like NI is fucking helping me, like doing whatever, So it's like pop, pop, pop.
Your subconscious is way more powerful than your conscious.
That's true, but don't give him the ideas, man. I gotta keep him in check a little bit. But
you gotta keep that motherfucker in check.
You gotta know who's in control, man. Fuck that. I don't know. It's just fun, man. I don't know. Like the whole typology thing. The most fun thing was just like really, really learning that like people's not trying to be totally horrible people. It's like they're just missing it because it's real bad. Like for BE and FJ, I think because like anticipated people needs and just taking care of the little thing and then just like did a lot of taking for granted, and then. I know it's not logical after the fact, but in the moment, I would be the one saying that feel of shit. Be like, I want you to do the thing I need you to do, that I want you to do, that treats me right, and I don't want to have to tell you to do it, right? It's like totally illogical, but I'm a fucking feeler, man. I'm just like, fuck, like why? I know what to do for everybody to meet their needs. Why I don't know what the fuck they do for me, man? Like, it's like this thing, just the whole thing, the whole package, like. I mean, I won't say like anything rosy about the community. There's good and there's bad, but most of them is just like. Trying to do the total opposite for the type thing. It's like, dude, get in here and lose your type. Like when I first came, I thought there'd be so many mandala to learn from, shit like that. Like I thought people would have this shit figured out, man. Like, but
no, that's the thing about the type community, and especially if you get into like Discord groups or whatever, is since I mean there's no there's no like
limited belief in incel, man.
Like there's no credentials really, so that lets you got to take the good and the bad with that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who pretend to know more than they do. That's why when people try to figure out their type by like asking group consensus in say a Discord chat or something, it's just asking for fucking problems.
No, the thing that made me figure out my type is the shit that made me cry, man. Like I watched that like the cute chicks INFP channel, and she's like shit NF say, and it was like me when I'm 14, and I'm like, oh you bitch, like what she's saying.
Oh yeah, hey, sorry, you jogged my memory. Earlier, somebody in the chat mentioned an ESTP YouTube channel, some ESTP chick who has similar.
Oh yeah, yeah,
as me. Was that you?
yeah, that was me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, give it to me again. Let me look it up.
Jennifer Molinsky.
Spell that again.
Jennifer.
Okay.
Molinsky.
How do you spell Molinsky?
Mole in ski like that. Yeah. No, like seriously, mole and then just in and then Polish ski. I don't think she's a typology channel. Just somebody show me her channel and I just type her.
Oh, yeah, I subscribed to her a while.
Definitely ESTP though, and she she just like I see it like a lot. So I thought maybe you knew who she was.
I do now that I do now that I'm looking at it.
What's that like to see yourself as someone else?
You know what? I've only watched one or two of her videos, and I didn't have type in my head at all.
Well, you got a lot of more chill. Like on like her, she still has that very high SE where it's like, oh, it's 12:53, blah 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 blah. Like just I don't know, you have to do it. Like they just like you have to train yourself not to do a call out about some like almost random fact of the day, like just whatever, something changed.
Hold on. So, did you hear about Tiger Woods rolling his vehicle? I heard somebody talking about it, but that's all. I don't know the actual story.
Weird.
You heard anything about that?
No, I stay away from news. Like I actually fucking cried earlier today because two of my friends in Texas finally just got to me just thinking about all these homeless people that's fucking basically murdered, in my opinion.
There's a look. Can you see up on the screen? There's a question for you.
Deviate from his plans?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? I'm not deviating from my plans.
Like if you've made plans and then your plan is you're gonna pick Taylor up, and then we're gonna stop at.
No, I know where my eye is. Man. We don't need any help for this. Like it's fine.
So you cool with changing your plans or nah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm 30. I'll be 36 on the 22nd of March. So, but like the NI stuff is just silly, It's just about knowing people, man. Like FI people, they got it right. Keep your shit to yourself, man. Because if you know enough about you, then I'll just run the model and I'll know how to predict your behavior. It's not literally predict future, but like here's one that's like this is an NI thing that I think about, and a lot of other NJs like whatever they're flexing. They should be talking about random shit like this, and you'll never care about it. But this is my NI shit that I'm thinking about. Is during this COVID thing, it's really come out with empirical evidence that you can find a dark side in the face. So after COVID, finally go whatever. When we go back to normal, that's the like cliche shit to say, right? Oh, it'll never be normal. You know what? Fine. But when it go back and this shit is there and it's out there now. So you want to start a business? Fucking figure out how to like. It's basically like going to be cyber hacking and fucking firewall shit. Like figure out how to make it so you can get these dark triad motherfuckers to like hide that shit in their face because it's out there now. And it's a trainable skill. I tell you, I was fucking terrible at it. I was so bad at it when I first started. Like, way worse than a monkey. It was like there was like boys, girls, and then total. I think my girls was like 17% accurate. It's like monkey would be 50. You know what I mean? It's only showing two picture. So I'm like taking the dark side every time when the objective is not to take it. But it's a trainable skill. I'm up to about 70% now. So it's something like that, And
you can see the dark triad in people's faces. Is that?
Yeah, man. Like look Kenneth Copeland. Like look like once you start seeing it, it's like I don't think it's a degenerative spiral thing. I mean, you just really see it. Like it's just like, ooh, this is fucking great, man. It's like kind of just seeing they just can't take it out. Like there'll be subtle things. Like here's one you'd probably appreciate, right? You have a couple that's in a photograph, the male and the female, and then you see the female and you see her energy. If you cut out the male, it looks like she's in a picture with someone. If you cut out the female, it looks like he's in the picture all by himself, man. Like he's in his own fucking cotton. You know what I mean?
Okay, so looking like you're there by yourself is indicative of dark triad.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I could show you like, kind of some specific example. Like I don't even, you know what I mean? Like it's sort of getting the grasp of it. I'm sure like when you finally get it, it's like the magic trick. It's
that
like
that makes sense. I was just trying to make sure I was understanding you right, and I was.
Yeah. There's like shit like that, It's like it sort of can be subtle, but it looked like, yeah, look at his face, man. He looks like he's in that picture all by himself. Like he's like, it's like very narcissistic. So
And is that about like the dark triad thing? Is that just your observation, or is there like people digging into this and research?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like this kind of stuff has come out and it's made rounds and stuff. So I would think that like, that this is gonna be like coming out eventually. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just there. Like it's like you can just get them. We've known for a long time like different things. If you're into psychology, right? Like maybe 1 in 25 people is a psychopath, right? Well, we start being able to identify people that's like this, and then whenever people start noticing that, like, oh, look at this, your VPs of your organizations and your supervisors, it's got a lot of dark triad going on there. You know what I mean? It's like that's a product waiting to happen, man. Like either to make yourself look like you have it or look like you don't. Like you can meta that shit. Who knows, man? Like whatever, dude. Just fucking get the shit, right? Like
everybody already thinks that their boss is a psychopath.
I mean, some of them are correct. That's true. So I don't know. I never had a problem to call my boss and be like, hey, I'm having a day, whatever. But I was in the military, so like it's kind of just get out of you that like you're perfect.
So your bosses really were psychopaths.
Huh?
So your bosses really were psychopaths.
I mean, kind of, man. I don't know why somebody would re-enlist. That's nuts, dude. That's just nuts. Fuck that. I did that to get out of poverty and it worked. So bye-bye,
It is good at doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2002, I'm 15 years old, shitting in an outhouse, bro. It's like third world country, but it's America, called Appalachian, man. Fuck that.
I gotta get a screwdriver. You hold down the fort.
No worries. What's up, shit? Whoa. Hold on. Bum, bum, bum.
All right, let me see if that works. Oh shit. Nope.
So what are you making over there? Is this some kind of... What is that? I mean, that's not a Van de Graaff, right? Or is that similar?
It is going to be an atmospheric water generator. Basically, It's a reverse.
Okay.
A reverse dehumidifier, and ultimately, it should be able to plug it in and have it make water by. I'm all tangled up now.
Yeah.
But if you run cold water through the tubes and through the copper coils, copper is really a good cold. It gets cold as fuck. So the copper coil should attract moisture, and just like the outside of an ice cup, a glass of ice water, condensation should attach to the copper and drip into a drip pan below. It's one of my little prepper experiment gadgets. Because I'm kind of late to the show, or kind of late to the game, but I've started getting into prepping a little bit lately. And one of the things that they sell for like $900 fucking is atmospheric water generators, which is basically just one of these things.
Right.
But I ain't paying $900 for that.
I mean, if that works out, I mean, that's quality, man. Start fencing those on Facebook and shit.
So we'll see. I need to buy a pump.
Call up Tom Green, man. If you can get that price down to like 250 or 300, like I'm sure he gets you on that. He's done that.
In psychology, the dark triad is the three: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. So they're called dark because of their malevolent qualities.
I mean, what? Narcissists have no reason to take the test, man.
Yes, they would.
Well, I mean, they can fake a test, right? Why not? I don't know. My mom was a narcissist, so it's like yeah.
But they wouldn't, because they'd get duper's delight, right? So
I mean, she never felt like she had to grow. She never felt like she had to grow or get any better at anything. She's
narcissists and psychopaths don't think there's anything wrong with them. So if they scored high on, say, psychopathy, they would feel like that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, and like they're all the better for it.
Yeah.
So if they're taking the test for themselves, they probably wouldn't try to dupe it if they're actually curious. But if they're taking the test for like a court order, I mean, you'd think they'd try to dupe it.
Do you have a Facebook group?
I do. Let me grab that link
I'm just trying to start some shit. I'm gonna get on there and see if there's any dark triad on your Facebook group, people.
If there's not, drop a link to something.
All right, I hit the join button. I guess, yeah, that's definitely good.
I just dropped a link in the comments there.
It says the membership is pending. So.
Okay, I'll let you in a second. What if you wrap that atmospheric water device in insulation, like a beer koozie? Well, the coil is going to be supported in the air by this PVC piping that I've wrapped in a bit of aluminum foil just to sort of add some buffer to the support system so that it's ideally only touching cold shit. You wouldn't, because the water is going to drip off the coil. It's going to drip off the bottom of the coil into like a tray. So you don't want koozie around that. You want the exterior catching that condensation. I think you mentioned something about chemtrails the other night. Do you ascribe to the idea that chemtrails are being laced with something mind controlling?
Come on, man.
To the extent that everything affects your mind, yes. To the extent that it's specifically a mind control agent, no. I think that what they've admitted is aluminum. So.
How old were you when you learned to swim?
I don't know. I remember going to swimming lessons. I was probably 5 or 6.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I didn't get to go until I was 9. It was a day camp.
I fucking hated it because the lifeguards would dunk you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like if you didn't know how to like hold your breath and go underwater or any of that shit, they'd just each kid would get drug out into the water with a lifeguard and they just dunk you.
I mean, that sounds good.
And then let you catch your breath and then dunk you again.
Beta quadrant baptism, maybe.
I did not enjoy myself. It's hard to imagine that they'd be allowed to do shit like that anymore. But
yeah, I was actually so pissed because I always wanted to go, but like I was kind of like I don't know, my mom, like man, you know what I'm saying? So she didn't. I'd kill her vibe, so she didn't take me to the pool. But when I was 9, I finally got to go first time to this day camp. I didn't know how to swim, but I saw these other kids fucking swimming. I was like, well, fuck that. I just jumped in, man. Like, let's do it. I was doggy paddling, so I was wasting mad energy, but it wasn't that bad. You know, I was like, shit, anybody can swim. Fuck this. I did learn how to swim eventually later, but yeah. I think people instinctually will know how to doggy paddle at least.
all right, that's an idea. Good night, Alice. I am about to sign off too. I'm going to finish tightening this clamp.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to X out of this bad boy. Thanks for coming on and chatting with me.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Oh, and here, let me approve you in the Facebook group real quick.
Yeah, that last time we met, it was like for 20 minutes before you got there, like your friends kind of already in my shit, you know? So you kind of showed up and was like forced to whatever, you know? I'm not saying you won't not like me later. Like you might not like me later on your own, but at least at that point, it was kind of like a lower.
That I'll get up in your shit.
Huh?
I just would like to do it on my own terms.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like we can figure out our own ways to fucking piss each other off. So like some other people. It's weird.
All right. Thanks for joining me, everybody in the chat. Thanks for watching. And we'll do this again. Be good.